The wind was cold that night, cold enough to freeze water in minutes. The streets were empty, broken and full of silence. Above, the sky was cracked with old war scars. No stars shined anymore, just clouds, thick and dark. From the corner of the ruined road, a strange figure walked slowly. Her steps were weak, her body was shaking. She held a child in her arms, small, thin, and barely awake. The mother's skin was not like a human's, it was soft blue. Her clothes were torn, and her long white hair stuck to her face like wet threads. She moved door to door. She knocked, softly, gently. "Help, please, my child." But no one answered. Every house was closed. People inside were too afraid. They had seen too many things since the aliens came. Too many wars, too much pain. The child cried in a quiet voice. Not loud, just a soft, tired cry. It was the kind of sound that made hearts heavy. But no one opened their doors. Finally, the mother reached the end of the street. There was only one place open now, a small food stall. It was not fancy, just some metal sheets, a table, and a man standing behind a stove. Smoke rose from his hot pan. Something was frying. The smell of oil, meat, and bread floated in the air. Warmth came from the stall like a tiny sun in the freezing night. The alien mother looked at it. Her eyes blinked slowly. She took one more step and then fell. Her knees hit the ground first. Then her arms gave out. She collapsed on the cold concrete, her child slipping from her grip and falling beside her. The child's eyes were wide open, but dull, skin pale. No strength to even cry now. The man behind the stall froze. He had been cooking a simple meal for himself, some fried bread and old canned meat. But now, he stared at this strange woman and child lying in front of him. What the hell? He whispered. He had seen aliens before. Earth had been visited many times in the last few years. Some came in peace, most did not. Some begged, most attacked. But this woman, she didn't look dangerous. She looked broken. She raised her head just a little. Her lips moved. "Please, just one bite." Her voice was soft, barely a whisper. Then, her head fell back. Her eyes closed. Her body stopped moving. The man dropped his spatula and ran to them. Hey, don't die on me," he said, shaking the woman gently. He looked at the child. The small alien girl was breathing but very slow. She was shivering hard. Her fingers were wrapped around something, a tiny metal toy. Her only possession, maybe. The man's name was Yelen. He was no hero. He wasn't even brave. He was just a cook, a survivor, someone who stayed far away from danger. But right now, danger was lying at his feet. He looked around. No one was there to help. He rushed back, grabbed a piece of bread from the pan, and broke it in two. He gently placed it near the woman's mouth. She didn't move. Then he moved the other piece to the child's lips. The child opened her mouth slowly, took a bite, then another, then stopped shaking. "Good," he whispered. "You're not dead yet." As he leaned in closer, something strange caught his eye. There was a soft light under the mother's skin right on her chest, a glowing symbol, pulsing like a slow heartbeat. It was not natural. It was not human. Alien single quotes s breath caught in his throat. "What are you?" he said quietly. But deep inside, a strange feeling grew, a mix of fear, pity, and something else. He couldn't leave them. Not tonight. The night was still. The fire in Jelen's stove crackled softly as he sat beside the two strangers, an alien mother and her child. He had wrapped them in his old blanket. The woman was still unconscious, but the child had opened her eyes. Big eyes, bright, silver blue, but tired, too tired for a child. Yelen offered her a cup of warm broth. She took it with both hands, her fingers shaking. She sipped slowly, watching him closely, like she was still afraid. "What's your name?" Yelen asked softly. The girl didn't speak. She just stared at him. Then, with a small, shaky voice, she said, "Mommy said not to tell. They will hear me." Yelen frowned. "Who will?" She looked up at the sky, the ones with no faces. Yelen didn't understand. Was she just scared? Or had she really seen something? Suddenly, the woman moved. She groaned, her body arching slightly. Her glowing chest mark pulsed once. Then she opened her eyes. Blue light flickered in them. She tried to sit up, but her body failed her. "Stay down," Yelen said gently. "You passed out. You're safe now for now." The woman looked at her daughter. When she saw her holding the warm cup, something softened in her face. Relief, love. She whispered, "Thank you, human." Yelen nodded. "Who are you?" I am nobody now," she said. "A mother, a refugee, a mistake to the galaxy." Yelen didn't like riddles. "You said just one bite. Now I want answers. Who's after you?" The woman looked into the fire. Her eyes reflected the flames. "They call themselves collectors," she said. "They erase planets. They take what they need and burn the rest." Jelen's hands clenched. "And you ran from them?" "No," she said. "I stole from them." He raised an eyebrow. "Stole what?" The child looked up again. "Me." Yelen stared. The woman continued, her voice slow, heavy with pain. "My daughter is not just a child. She was made in a lab, not born. She carries something inside her, something they want back." Jelen's heart began to pound. "Like what?" he asked. "Hope," she said simply. "A code, a cure, a weapon. I don't know what to call it. All I knew was they would kill her to take it out." Yelen stood. He paced. This was bad. This was way above his head. He sold food to factory workers. He didn't fight space monsters. He didn't protect secret alien babies. But he looked at the girl again. She had finished the broth. She smiled at him just a little, and something hit him hard. He saw himself, hungry, cold, alone. Years ago, when Earth was hit by the last war, he had begged for food just like this. A stranger had helped him once, gave him one meal. That's how he had survived. Now he was the one cooking, and someone else was begging. A long silence passed. The woman leaned back, closing her eyes again. Yelen sat beside her. "If I help you, they'll come here, won't they?" he asked. The woman didn't open her eyes. "Yes." "If I send you away, they'll still come, won't they?" "Yes." "Why?" She opened her eyes now. "Because you gave her a bite." He laughed a little, bitter and dry. "Figures." Suddenly, the child stood up. Her hand reached toward Jelen's old radio on the shelf. It was broken for years, but as she touched it, it came to life. Lights blinked. A voice came through. "Unidentified ship detected, moving fast." Jelen's eyes went wide. "You did that?" he asked. The girl nodded once. "I feel machines. I fix them. They listen to me." Yelen stared at the sky. Something was coming. Maybe tonight. Maybe tomorrow. He looked down at the mother and daughter. Both were watching him. He had to make a choice. Run or fight. He grabbed a pot and threw it on the stove. "Well," he said, "if someone's going to invade my town, I won't let them do it while I'm hungry." He looked at the girl. "You want another bite?" She smiled. Yelen smiled back. He didn't know what was coming next, but one thing was clear now: this wasn't just their fight anymore. The next morning came with red skies. Clouds hung low like smoke. The wind had changed. It carried something sharp, something strange. Yelen could feel it in his bones. He hadn't slept all night. The mother lay on a mattress made from old sacks. The child, now resting quietly, had curled up beside a small heater. Yelen had given them all he had: food, warmth, safety. But he knew that safety would not last. He stood near the food stall, holding a cup of cold tea, when he noticed something odd. A faint hum, like a machine, but coming from the woman. He walked over, leaned closer. It wasn't his imagination. Her chest mark, the glowing symbol under her skin, was humming, and it was getting brighter. Yelen reached out, almost touched it, but the woman's eyes opened suddenly. She grabbed his wrist, not hard, but firm. "Don't touch it," she whispered. Jalen backed away. "What is it?" She looked away. "You shouldn't have helped us." He raised an eyebrow. "Yeah, I figured that out last night." The woman sat up slowly. Her voice was steadier now. "I'm not just a mother," she said. "I was something else. Before the escape." "What?" Yelen asked. Her fingers brushed her collarbone, right where the glowing mark sat beneath her skin. "I was called Shimara, commander of Life Seed Vault 9. We guarded the last creation code of our people, something we were never allowed to use. But the collectors found us." She paused. "They wanted the code, not to use it, but to destroy it." Yelen blinked. "Why?" "Because it can heal. It can fix worlds, regrow forests, bring back species, even fix dying stars. But they profit from destruction. Peace would ruin them." She pointed at her daughter. "I ran. I broke the vault open. I used the code to grow her. She's not fully machine, not fully organic. She is something new. And they will burn planets to take her back." Yelen stared at her, completely stunned. "So she's like a living technology?" The woman nodded. "She can talk to machines, change them, feel them, but she is still a child. She doesn't know what she is." He sat down slowly. The tea in his hand felt heavy now. "So, you were a commander, a soldier." "I was more," she said quietly. "But now, I'm just a mother who disobeyed orders." They sat in silence for a moment. Then the child stood up and walked to Yelen. She held something small in her hand, a tiny orb, silver, smooth, and pulsing faintly. "I want you to have this," she said. Jan took it carefully. "What is it?" The child smiled. "It talks to machines. It can protect you if they come." He looked at the orb, then at her. "You sure?" She nodded. "It likes you. It told me." That was new. Yelen tucked it into his coat pocket, still unsure if he was in a dream or a trap. Just then, the radio, the same broken one the girl had fixed, made a strange sound. Bzzzzzt static. Then a robotic voice. "Warning. Sector. Breach. Unknown vessel detected. Earth skyspace. Warning." Yelen's heart dropped. He looked at the mother. "Is it them?" She didn't answer. She just stood and looked at the sky. Then she said, "They've found us." Just then a sharp sound cracked through the air, like thunder, but sharper. A pulse of energy hit the sky. It was coming. Jan turned to the child. "How long do we have?" The girl looked at him. "Not long, but enough to choose." He didn't understand. Choose what? To hide or to stand? The sky wasn't blue anymore. It was orange, but not from sunset. A ship had entered Earth's orbit. It wasn't visible to the human eye, but something in the air had changed. Machines buzzed strangely. Radios died. Streetlights flickered, even when there was no power grid to feed them. In the middle of all this, a child sat calmly beside a broken vending machine. She tilted her head. Her fingers moved across the buttons like a piano. The machine's lights blinked. It came to life with a soft beep. Jan stared in disbelief. "That thing hasn't worked in 10 years. He whispered. The little girl, her name still unknown to him, looked up and smiled gently. "I asked it nicely." Yelen crouched beside her. "What do you mean, asked?" "I talked to it, like I talk to birds or wind." He frowned. "That's not normal." She nodded. "I know." The machine suddenly dropped a soda can. The noise echoed down the silent street. The mother, Shimara, looked over with worry in her eyes. "We must move soon. The collectors, they sense her when she uses her link too much." Yelen stepped back. "Then why let her do it? She's learning," the mother said. "She must understand what she is before they arrive, or Earth is already lost." That word again. Earth is lost. Yelen didn't want to believe it. Earth had already been broken once in the war with the Zyrans. What was left now was a half-healed planet with more scars than hope. But now, he had seen things that didn't make sense. Machines waking up, radio signals returning, and a child speaking without words to metal. Later that night, Yelen walked with the child down the alley. She held his hand. "Do you ever get scared?" He asked her. "Yes," she said, "when mommy cries quietly." Yelen paused. "She cries." The girl nodded. "When she thinks I'm asleep, she misses home. But she says I'm home now." That hit him hard. Yelen had lost his parents in the last war. Since then, he had never really had a home, just walls and heat when lucky. But this little alien child, she was calling Earth home. That meant something. "Why me?" Yelen asked suddenly. "Why did you come to my food stall?" The girl stopped. She looked up at him with her glowing, silver blue eyes. "Because your heart was warm. I could feel it." That answer made him quiet. Back at the stall, Shaimara was scanning the skies with an old human scanner, one the child had repaired. The scanner beeped once, twice. Then, incoming trace particle, phase shift energy detected. She stared at it, then called out, "They're not just near, they're already here." Yelen rushed over. "What do you mean here? They sent a ground unit. A scout. Someone, or something is watching us already." The child closed her eyes. "I can feel it too." Suddenly, she pointed to the broken security cam on the corner wall. It twitched, blinked, turned. "They see us," she whispered. The camera sparked and shut off. Then every streetlight died at once. The city went black. A low sound rolled across the horizon, like metal grinding against metal. Jalen grabbed a wrench. It was the only thing he had. "You're seriously going to fight them with a wrench?" Shaimara asked quietly. He shrugged. "You got anything better?" The girl stepped forward. "I do." She reached into her coat and pulled out the orb again, but this time, it floated. It lifted into the air, glowed, then split into smaller lights, like fireflies, and scattered into nearby machines. Broken lights turned on. Wires moved on their own. An old human drone in the junk pile rebooted. Jelen's eyes widened. "What is she doing?" Shaimara's voice was calm. "She's calling allies, not people, but machines, the forgotten ones, the broken ones. She's waking them." The ground rumbled. From the far end of the street, a tall, black figure stepped into view. Armor, no face, a collector scout. Its voice was cold, robotic. "Return the seed, or be cleansed." Yelen stepped in front of the girl. "You'll have to go through me first." The collector didn't even react. But then the machines in the alley began to move. Trash bots, food carts, drones forming a circle around Yelen and the child. And the girl? She walked forward, small and unafraid. She raised her hand. The broken drone beside her lifted off the ground and fired. The sky cracked open with a deep, rumbling sound. Yelen looked up. The clouds weren't clouds anymore. They were engines. A ship, huge, black, and silent, hovered above the city like a shadow stretched across the world. "They're here," Shaimara whispered. The collector mothership had arrived. Beneath it, the street was quiet. But that quiet didn't last. Suddenly, beams of red light shot down in 5 places. With each beam, a tall armored figure appeared. Black suits, glowing red eyes. No faces. Collector hunters. They walked with no sound, no talking, no orders. Just one mission. Take the child. Kill everything else. Jalen grabbed a rusted blaster from under the food stall. It barely worked. Shaimara stood beside him, holding a metal rod that hummed with her energy. She was weak, but she would fight. The child stood behind them. She didn't cry. She didn't run. She placed her small hand on the ground, and the machines answered. Every broken device nearby, fans, bikes, vending machines, old robots, slid up and rolled toward the alley. They didn't look like an army, but they were ready. The first collector stepped forward, scanning the child. Seed signal located. Its voice echoed. "Begin purge." Then it fired. A blue plasma beam shot toward the girl. Yelen dove in front, blaster raised and fired back. The beam hit his weapon, melting half of it. He screamed in pain but stayed standing. The machines rushed in, crashing into the hunter's legs. A drone flew into its face and exploded. It staggered backward. The second hunter raised its arm. A sonic wave blasted down the street, shattering windows, throwing metal everywhere. Yelen and Shaimara hit the ground. But the child was glowing now. Her skin shimmered like silver fire. She raised her hands. The street beneath her lit up with alien code, symbols racing like light. The machines responded faster now, moving like they were alive. A broken delivery robot tackled a hunter. An old car alarm screeched so loud it cracked one hunter's helmet. The child whispered, "No more running." Meanwhile, Shaimara crawled to Yelen. His arm was burned, but he was alive. "You shouldn't have stood in front of her," she said. "She's just a kid," he grunted. "I'm not letting monsters take a kid." She looked at him, tired but proud. "You are more human than most." More hunters dropped from the sky. The mothership darkened the moon above. Yelen knew this wouldn't end well. Not like this. Not alone. He turned to the girl. You said you could talk to machines. Can you talk to big ones? The girl smiled. Yes. Yelena grinned through the pain. Then let's call someone bigger. She nodded. Then placed her hands on the ground again. This time, she closed her eyes. The signal traveled fast. Through wires, old tech, lost satellites still spinning in Earth's orbit. Somewhere deep beneath the city, an old war robot buried and forgotten received the message. Its eyes lit up red. Metal moved. Dust shook. Back on the street, the collectors advanced. To hunters pinned Yelena against the stall. One raised a blade, about to strike. Boom. The ground exploded. A massive machine 20 feet tall rose from the dirt, covered in vines, rust, and broken armor, but still powerful. An Earth defense unit. Model Titan 9, long abandoned. But not anymore. The girl whispered, "Wake up." The robot turned. Saw the collectors, and opened fire. A giant pulse cannon fired, sending one hunter flying across the city. Another was crushed under its heavy foot. Yelena fell to his knees, laughing breathlessly. Okay, kid, I believe you now. Shimara stood slowly. She looked at the sky. The mothership was still there, still watching. This was just a test, she said. The real storm hasn't begun. Yelena wiped blood from his lip. Then we better find shelter. No, the girl said, standing proudly. We find allies. The city burned behind them. Yelena's small food stall was gone. Only ashes now. The alley where he fed the alien mother and her daughter was covered in broken metal, black soot, and red lights from the sky. But they were alive. Thanks to the child. Thanks to the machines that had awakened for her. They traveled for hours through cracked roads and silent ruins. Shimara led the way, wounded but focused. Yelena limped behind, clutching his wrapped arm. The child walked in the middle, silent, but alert. Her fingers sometimes glowed when she passed broken tech. The broken tech would blink, shiver, or flicker, like it was saying hello. Finally, they reached a hidden tunnel. An old train station, forgotten by humans, abandoned since the last war. Mara placed her hand on a rusted panel. It lit up. The doors slid open with a loud hiss. Underground. Safe. For now, they entered a large room, part shelter, part control hub. Humans were there, a small group, dirty, tired, angry, old soldiers, scientists, civilians, survivors, the underground resistance. One man stood tall among them, bald, scarred, eyes sharp. Captain Reeve. He pointed a gun at them. I told you. He barked. No aliens in here. Shimara stepped forward. Then shoot me. But she stays. He looked at the child. Then at Yelena. Who the hell are you? Just a cook, Yelena replied. But this kid, she saved me, saved the city. She can wake machines. Reeve lowered the gun, but not his guard. She's the seed, isn't she? Yelena blinked. You know, we intercepted a signal yesterday. A collector broadcast. They're hunting something called the seed carrier. A living weapon. We thought it was code. Not a child. It's not a weapon, Yelena growled. She's just a kid. She helped Earth when no one else did. Reeve paced. The others whispered. Some looked at the child with fear, others with hope. One woman stepped forward, older, wearing a lab coat. Her name tag read, Dr. Lin. She could change everything, she said. With her abilities, we could reboot satellites, repair defense systems, rebuild old weapons. Earth could fight back. Shimara's eyes narrowed. You talk like a scientist, but she's not a tool. Dr. Lin looked at the child. She's our chance. The child stepped back, suddenly nervous. Yelena stepped in front of her. She's not your chance. She's not your key. She's a child. And she's scared. Reeve raised a hand. Everyone calmed down. Silence returned. Later. That night, in a quiet corner of the bunker, Yelena sat with the girl. She looked down, not speaking. You okay? He asked. She shook her head. They look at me like I'm not real. You are real. They want to use me. He paused. They want to survive. That doesn't mean they hate you. It means they're desperate. Will you use me too? She asked. He smiled. No, I'll protect you, even from the people who think they're saving the world. In the center of the room, Shimara and Reeve argued quietly. She needs rest. Shimara said. She needs to act, Reeve replied. The collector mothership hasn't left orbit. It's just waiting. Gathering data if we don't strike. Now, you'll lose, Shimara said coldly. Your weapons are old. Your satellites are blind. Only she can bring them back. Then let us use her. No, she snapped. Ask her. Let her choose. Reeve paused. And if she says no, then she says no. Suddenly, the ground shook. An explosion far above. Dust fell from the ceiling. A siren screamed in the tunnel. A boy with goggles ran in. They've found us, Yelen stood. How? Dr. Lin shouted from the back. Maybe her signal. When she entered the doors, Reeve cursed. Ready the guns. The child walked forward. I can stop them, she said. Chimera's voice rose. No, not again. You're too tired. But I can feel the machines, even underground. Everyone looked at her. I want to help, but not as a weapon. I want to protect Earth, because Earth fed me when no one else did. Her voice cracked, because Yelen gave me one bite. A silence spread. Then Reeve nodded. Then help us. Your way. The child raised her arms. Around them, the walls lit up. Screens flickered. Defense systems are EBOOTED. And high above the city, a signal rose into orbit, not to the collectors, but to Earth's lost satellites. Her voice, soft but strong, echoed in every broken machine. Wake up, please, just one more time. The Earth's sky was no longer silent. Above, the collector mothership hovered like a god of death. Cold, watching, waiting. Below, deep inside the forgotten tunnels, the seed, a small girl with silver blue eyes, stood in the center of old Earth tech, now alive again. Around her, glowing screens returned to life. Abandoned drones buzzed. Ground turrets powered up. Satellite feeds blinked with green lights. She had done it. She had woken up the bones of Earth. Yelen stood beside her, still wounded, but refusing to rest. His eyes didn't leave the scanner. He saw the collector's signal grow stronger. They're coming, he said. Shimara nodded. This will be the last wave. Captain Reeve adjusted his armor and checked the old rifles now reactivated. Then we meet them like humans, loud and stubborn. The sirens howled. Above ground, the mothership opened like a flower of steel. From it, hundreds of hunters dropped, like dark rain. But something was different this time. The satellites, Earth's forgotten eyes, locked on. The turrets aimed. The girl spoke quietly. Earth, protect your people. A storm of lasers and missiles roared into the sky. Drones lifted. Ground crawlers surged forward. Walls opened to reveal long-dead cannons that had now returned to war. The collectors didn't expect resistance. Certainly not from machines they thought dead. The battle shook the ground. Collectors advanced, fast, brutal, but the machines fought harder, not for glory, not for reward, but because they had been called by a child, by kindness, by one bite. Inside the bunker, Yelen collapsed, breath heavy. Mara pulled him behind cover. You shouldn't be on your feet. I fed a war, he said, chuckling. Might as well. See how it ends. Suddenly, a deafening sound came from the child's side. She had stepped forward, arms raised, her voice echoing through all tech. They burned my stars. They chased my mother. They called me a mistake. But this planet gave me shelter, a meal, a chance. So now, I fight for Earth. Then, her glow expanded. Light burst from her body, soft, silver, beautiful. The machines around her transformed, faster, smarter, stronger. Turrets became railguns. Drones multiplied. Walls thickened. And then, the Earth fired back. From deep underground, Titan 9 rose again, stronger, reformed. It crashed into the front lines like a beast of steel, crushing hunter squads like ants. The collector mothership tried to flee, but Earth's revived satellites locked on. The girl's orb rose into the sky, a signal, a final command. You are not welcome here. The satellites fired together. A single beam, massive, bright, split the sky in half. The collector ship burst like glass and vanished in flames. Silence. Then, wind. Only wind. Hours later, the bunker was quiet again. Bodies were counted, wounds treated, and the child, the seed, sat quietly on a bench, swinging her legs. Yelen sat beside her. Hey, he said. You okay? She nodded. He pulled something from his coat. A piece of bread. Crispy, warm. She smiled. You're still cooking. He grinned. Always. She took the bread, broke it in two, gave him half. Thank you, she said, for the bite. Yelen looked at her, really looked, and finally understood. She was more than alien. She was hope made real. Not in lasers, not in weapons, but in the simple act of giving something, even when you have almost nothing. Later that night, Captain Reeve stood before the crowd. This girl saved Earth, with her heart, with her power, with her kindness. She's not our weapon. She's our future. The people clapped. For the first time in years, Earth didn't feel like it was dying. It felt like it was starting over. In the ruins of the food stall, a small sign remained. It read, "Warm meals, free for the hungry." Someone had painted below it, "One bite can change everything. Please, just one bite," she said. The alien mother begged, then gave humanity a second chance.